So I sent you the link, so you may be able to catch this live. I have your questions here. So, firstly, because I haven't heard back from you about who the guide was yet. If a guide's pinging you, then you got to know they're pinging you. They're in your experience. There's no coincidences. So yes, whoever they are is guiding you for a reason. I would look into their archetypal energy and what they represent and really focus on embodying that within yourself. I also felt Shiva really strong for you. So, Shiva and Shiva's energy is about, I mean, if you think about Shiva being married to Kali, Kali is the goddess that literally fights demons and destroys demons. Shiva, being her counterpart as the divine destroyer, is very much linked to that energy. It removes what is toxic. It's very similarly related to Lord Ganesh, who is the remover of obstacles. Little bit different, right? Because obstacles don't always have to be toxic or dark. But Shiva specifically, and Kali being tied to him specifically, remove obstacles. Okay. I just got the text from you, Loki. All right, now Loki as a guide. Loki is known for being the trickster, right? Loki is known for being the trickster. And he's known for illusion, right? Creating illusion, that he puts on many faces and can change and shift himself in order to create certain projections of the environment, right? The choices that people make. He morphs and shifts in order to elicit a certain result. Using Loki as a guide in its light would be knowing that you can move and shift in light to create certain results in the environment. Sometimes you have to be the doctor, right? Or the nurse, the healer. Sometimes you have to be the nurturer. Sometimes you have to be the warrior. Sometimes you have to put on different faces within the realm of light and intention of light in order for the outer experience to result the way you want it to result in love and light, right? We don't do it to control other people, but we do it to shift and control the manifestation, right? Owning our own vibration, owning what we're putting out there, you know, allowing certain things to dissipate, all right? Allowing certain things and certain results to fade, that they don't result the same way anymore, right? Loki as a guide. Sometimes there is the righteous path, right? Thor energy. And sometimes there is an equal path that is different, that is just as valued and is of equal value and yet is undervalued, right? And it's our ability to shift and transform from circumstance to circumstance in an authentic vibration, right? In an authentic vibration. So, know too, if he is coming through as a guide, that it is also making you aware of people that put on many faces in the realm of illusion, right? That paint certain pictures in the realm of illusion that are not necessarily of the intention of light. Like, we'll take Brian, for example, right? that he would say that your mom has chosen to cut off the family. He's projecting quite possibly a certain illusion for you to believe him, right? Because Loki's intent is for you to believe that who he is portraying himself to be is the truth, when in fact he is not who he is portraying himself to be. He's Loki portraying as something else, appearing as something else. Okay? Be aware of the duality of Loki in your experience, and that you can be in your light regardless, no matter what projection you're putting out there, that your light is the same, right? Understand the duality of that. Trust that he's coming to you as a guide for a reason, to bring you into the awareness of him in his light and the awareness of him around you in the shadow. Okay, the divine balance of things. Now, and again, I felt Shiva, so knowing that Loki is the guide that came through, and that Shiva and Kali, being a divine pair, are the destroyers of demons, know that you are facing someone who is quite possibly a Loki shadow, and that you need to be able to be in a Loki light in order to balance that and nullify that energy. Okay? You also wanted to know what you need to do to move forward, right? You wanted to know about social media readings, curious about opening up your gifts, what you can do to open up your gifts, and what insight you can get into the situation with your mother and Brian. So, social media readings. Just tuning into what I'm receiving, I feel that your presence is needed on social media. I'm also feeling like, even though readings are, I'm getting the nod, like the yes on readings, I'm also getting like a ping to just simply being present. And sometimes it's just having a conversation with whoever needs to hear it. Like, you don't know who needs the message that you've been receiving. It's just a matter of talking about it, talking about your own experience, helping people understand how to move through it as you are moving through it, and allowing those conversations to reflect for you as a mirror, right, into the self, that you would be able to rewatch them and observe your own self, okay? That you would be able to learn about yourself from yourself, and observation of yourself, that's important. How to open up your gifts? I think you have to start with your solar plexus chakra, because I think the issue is a confidence issue. I think once you unlock the confidence issue and heal the solar plexus, that you'll be able to tune into your heart chakra appropriately, in that your gifts will start to flow from your heart space. But I feel like it's the solar plexus chakra block that's preventing that, because there's no reason why you shouldn't have been doing this a long time ago. And it keeps getting put off, and that has to do with confidence. That has to do with not trusting yourself and your authentic being in the world, right? That you don't trust your authentic presence and what it has to offer, even if just one person is listening, and the one person's you, right? You have to be aware of the fact that confidence is an issue. Insecurity about your gifts is an issue, and you have to be able to override the confidence issue. Everything else unlocks after that, right? The heart chakra unlocks after that. The flow, the truth unlocks after that. The clarity unlocks after that. The understanding and the compassion unlocks after that, right? With the upper tiers of the upper chakras. So focus on your solar plexus. Forgive anyone who ever made you feel like what you believe and your authentic place in this world does not have a place, right? That you would silence yourself, forgive yourself for silencing yourself for as long as you have. Forgive anybody who made you feel like you should be silent. Because you definitely shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. Okay? You should definitely be on social media. That's just exactly what I'm getting intuitively from it. I would focus on solar plexus meditations, and I would do them when you wake up in the morning, not at night before bed, because the solar plexus meditations by default bring in energy. So it's not something you would do before bed. It's something you would do when you wake up in the morning. When you wake up, before you do anything, put a solar plexus meditation on your phone and just put it in your pocket or something. Carry it with you and allow it to play while you do what you do. I know on my meditations playlist, there's a really good, almost instant solar plexus chakra audio that's really, really good. I believe that the thumbnail image is like a fire crackling, and it has those sounds in the background. I would get your solar plexus really active first thing in the morning. Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, my sleep started throwing itself off. I've been having a hard time going to sleep the last couple nights. God knows I was awake until like 6 o'clock in the morning yesterday into today. And I was up until 5 o'clock in the morning the day before. So be aware if you're awake too and you can't sleep that there's things that you can get done. And to just allow yourself to be awake and do things, including readings, including going live, right? Yeah, Lilith has been coming through a lot. She synced for me yesterday. She crossed my path. Her, Hecate, Hecate, and Gaia all came through for me yesterday. And I know there's a lot of things going on with Lilith energy, especially because I have my Lilith and Gemini, and North Node is hanging around that alignment right now. So I know that there's a lot of healing going on in that regard. Lilith has also been going back and forth between this Taurian energy and this Geminian energy. So there's a lot going on with Lilith that is healing right now in those arenas. So you know where Taurus falls in your chart and what's in there, and you know where Gemini falls in your chart and what's in there. And so those are the areas of your life that the houses, right, in which they rule, that you're going to be focusing on healing, where you've abandoned yourself or haven't discovered yourself yet in the vibration of those houses, right? Yeah, Gemini is your 7th, Taurus would be your 6th house. So know that you are looking at where you have abandoned yourself and how that directly affects your partnerships, right? And this is exactly what we're talking about, your service within the self and how that affects your partnerships. So once, and because Taurus comes first, allowing that Lilith energy to heal within the self, to discover the self in the realm of service, will propel the healing of your relationships, right? Your partnerships with other people, not just Josh, but all of your partnerships. So know that's where Lilith is playing in your chart, right? There's a certain destined direction that creates stability with your service, with Taurus being your North Node in your 6th house. Your service creates your stability within it, and it unlocks everything thereafter. So be aware of that. There's a reason why you're asking me whether or not you should do social media. If you have to ask, the reason is usually yes, and you're just waiting on the confirmation to trust yourself, right? Confirmation and needing the signs and needing the synchronicities and needing that validation is just the insecurity within the self, not willing to trust the self, not willing to trust the own inner guidance. It's a confidence issue, right? Not confident in yourself and the messages you're receiving, and so you're seeking the outer validation. If you have to seek the outer validation, it's because you're having insecurity issues trusting yourself. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. You've been feeling this way for so long and it hasn't gone away for a reason. You've been guided for a long time to do it and it hasn't come through for a reason. So get the insecurity out of the way. Like trust yourself, trust your things, trust your guidance, trust what you're getting, trust your downloads. Trust the way you're being pushed. Trust that there's a reason why after 2-3 years that ping to do social media lives and readings hasn't gone away. There's a reason why it hasn't gone away. You're just being stubborn. You're just being stubborn and self-sabotaging, right? So, or South Node, right? South Node in Taurus. You're just being stubborn. You got to heal this shit. South Node in your house of service, there's a stubbornness to unlocking the destiny's direction. In Scorpio, your North Node, which is the rebirth and the transformation of the self, right? In your 12th house, the undoing of past life karma, where you don't trust yourself, being really stubborn in your service and not allowing yourself to shine, okay? I'm tuning into what else I'm getting. I think you'd be surprised at just how much you'll thrive when you start to reflect on your own conversations. The conversations and the love and the support that you give others through going through your experience. You have to understand you're talking to yourself. When you go live and you record things, you're always talking to yourself and reminding yourself of certain things that you need to drum home into your own spirit, into your own awareness. Be your best teacher. Be willing to learn from yourself. Like, there's no reason why you should not be doing readings like this for someone else the way I'm doing for you right now. Why isn't there people out there that need your words, that need your experience, that need your light and your presence? How can you think that your experience is not important? How can you think that no one else would learn from it unless you yourself have not learned from it? Allow yourself to learn. And start being your best teacher. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be yourself. You do have to trust your inner guidance and do as you're guided. And stop arguing with yourself. There's a reason why it's been guiding you for so long, that the ping has been guiding you to do it for so long. Trust. Hell, look up a meditation like solfeggio frequencies for the lower chakras. You can literally YouTube lower chakra meditations. It'll address the trust issue. It'll address the creative issue. It'll address the confidence issue. Heal your lower tier. Other people might have inflicted the wounds, but you're responsible to heal them. You got to learn to trust yourself in what you're creating. You got to allow yourself to transform, right? Scorpionic North Node. You've got to allow yourself to transform. In your 12th house, this is about overriding the illusion. The illusion is the projection other people put on us. It's getting back in touch with the truth within the self. The subconscious deep knowing. Like, be the phoenix. Rise, right? Rise from your ashes. Come back stronger than you were before. Be fresh and new in self. Let the old Makena be who she was. That's not who you were. It's not who you are anymore. Allow your mentality to shift. Allow your perspective to shift. Allow the healing to take place. You're doing what you've always done. And it served you for a time, but now it's time for you to grow and to be better, to be more. Trust your growth. Trust your transformation. Trust the new you. You can let the old version of yourself go that was afraid to go live, that was afraid to heal, that was afraid to learn, that was afraid to help others. Let that version go. It's not serving you anymore. Really work on your lower tier, your lower chakras, okay? You're creating delay. Not focusing on that and healing that and overriding that, you're just creating delay. And you have to understand something about South Node. South Node is something that you have already mastered in a previous lifetime, which is why you're focusing on the mastery of its opposite in order to balance. You've already mastered Taurean light in a past life, creating stability and beauty, and yet it is in your sixth house, which means you have to call on something that comes naturally as comfortable for you, that is not necessarily the lesson in this life. The lesson is to transform, and the lesson in transformation comes from what's already familiar, what's already stable in your soul's memory. You know how to create stability and beauty within the self. You're learning how to transform with it. You were a Taurus in a past life, which is why you understand your mother so much. You are already that. Now you have to learn how to transform. Any advice you would give your mother, you got to give it to yourself. Like, free yourself, go get a job. You know what I mean? Like, the things that you would tell your mother and advise your mother, you've got to understand. You've got to create it for yourself. You might not have to go out there and get a job, but you definitely have to take on a job, even if it's self-created, right? Transforming from within the self. To go and dip into a regular 9-to-5 job is not what you're mastering. You mastered that in a past life. You know how to work the stable 9-to-5 type job and create stability and beauty in your life. You're learning how to transform yourself in this life. It's not about working for someone else out there. It's about working for yourself. Allowing it to shift, allowing yourself to shift, allowing your role to shift. You might start doing readings and 3 years from now end up doing something completely different. And yet you're still working for yourself. That makes sense? Allow your job to transform with you. You might find yourself starting with card readings and just simply talking and mentoring and end up doing astrology. End up creating other things. End up focusing on your signs. Now that you have a following built, right, of people that know you and trust you and your energy and what you put out there, and be excited for you that you're doing your signs now. You know what I mean? Allow your job to transform with you. Okay. Once you conquer the confidence issue, right? Once you step into courage, what can you do to open your gifts? Heart chakra meditations. Heart chakra. That's how you overflow. That's going to unlock your gifts. Letting the heart chakra flow, which is why the courage is so important. You can call on Archangel Ariel for that. Yeah. You need to call on Archangel Ariel for that. Archangel Ariel is literally the lion's heart of God, the courage of God. You need to be really passionate about courage and how important it is to talk about that message, how important it is to override fear and to tap into courage, to do whatever it is that you feel you need to do to help people with that lesson. Like, if you can be afraid and override it and find your courage, then other people can do it too. With whatever their path is, they can find the courage within themselves to take it. Archangel Ariel, I call you into my being to strengthen my heart and give me the courage that I need to move forward on my divine path without delay. Thank you in the highest for being forever present for me. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for intervening on my behalf. Thank you. I think that's exactly what you need to move forward. Is courage. You already know what to do. You already know what to do. You just need the courage to do it. That's why I said I was feeling Shiva and Kali. Like, call them into your being to destroy the fucking demons. Destroy the shadow. All right. We're about halfway through the reading. I do want to pull some insights for your the situation going on with your mother and Brian, so that you can feel like you're more clear on understanding what is going on. It's guided to my Lynn Strider Tarot. Okay. Spirit, angels, please. Where is her mother actually at? Where is her mother actually at? Energetically, where is she at? What are her actual desires? What are her actual wants? What is the actual situation that she feels she's in? Please give us some insight to help us better understand the reality of things. What is going on with Makena's mother? What is the truth? What is it she's going through? Where is she at? All right. So listen. Got the Ace of Cups with the Knight of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. Then we have the Two of Swords on the bottom and the Six of Wands on top. Now, if you look at this card, there's a cat on the card, which is definitely indicative of Leo energy. There's the body of Christ dropping into the cup. And the cup looks empty. And there's a bunch of blue splashes all over the ground and on the cat. Okay. The body of Christ, like that wafer that you get at church, is dropping into the cup. Now, that same blue is on the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is normally a victory card. So the way I look at it, the way I see it, the Leo energy, it's like her being very aware that all the love has been drained in Brian. That all the love he has given to other people, he was completely drained. She's seeing herself like the savior. Because I'm reading it as like she's like the body of Christ dropping into the empty cup, trying to bring the cup back to overflow. She really does believe consciously that she could be victorious in teaching him that he is lovable. She believes it. She's seeing his potential and trying to fill him back up. It's a really slow process, but they're sacred soulmates with the Six of Cups. They've spent past lives together. The thing is about the Six of Cups, if you notice, there's cups on both these cards, right? Because they're both cups. The cup here looks empty. The cups here have plants in them, and the cups that have the plants are alive, and yet the couple here is holding dead flowers because they were removed from the cups. The flowers are wilting and withered and dying. And they're trying to figure out why the plants are dying. It's almost like they're talking about why the plants are dying. And it's because they pulled them from the cups. I think they're trying to share beauty with each other. But removing the beauty from where it is meant to grow is what's causing it to wither and or wilt. I don't believe that they're meant to actually stay with each other. I believe the love is meant to grow elsewhere. But she realizes that there should be flowers growing from his cup, and nothing can grow there because it's empty. So she's kind of been called in like a sacred soulmate to help him remember that he's lovable, and that when his cup is full, he can grow something beautiful in his reality. Underlying issue is she will be faced with a choice, and she's getting the nudges from Spirit with the Eight of Wands to make this heart over head decision and transform her own self with the Knight of Wands under that, and the Magician under that, Page of Pentacles under that, choosing, right, the Lovers and strength and courage, strength under that, Page of Wands, Phoenix rising under that. So you could see how this is mirroring, right, this Taurean energy that she has as mirroring in your own. We were talking earlier in the reading. She will make a choice at some point to not be drained herself. Christ consciousness, right, dropping in for her to fill her back up and inspire her, right, the pings and the guidance to love herself more and initiate the forward movement to create magic in her life, to create opportunity in her life, and choose strength. Her soul will choose strength. You have to understand that. She's on a mission with a soulmate to heal each other. He's going to learn what he deserves, and so will she. She's going to know what's meant for her and what's not. Spirit will never leave your mother. The angels will never leave your mother. She's going through a soul contract that is very slow. She's got to learn that she is not the savior. That's her comfort zone, right? South Node in Leo. She's used to having a super big heart, but that is not her lesson in this lifetime. The opposite of Leo is Aquarius. She's learning to see the bigger picture. Sometimes she's called to give unconditionally of herself and be that Christ consciousness, that unconditionally loving vibration, but that is not who she's meant to be in this life. Her mission is to see the bigger picture. Aquarian North Node. She's only in his life temporarily. But she knows wherever she is now, she's pouring love unconditionally to remind a soul brother of hers that he is lovable. She believes that victory is at hand, and victory he will have. Victory she will have when she finally finds the strength to leave. In the meantime, she's pouring love because she feels like she's guided to pour. Because she is. Because she is guided to pour, to love, to prioritize him above all others, because that's what she's teaching him, that he is worth prioritizing above all others. In the bigger picture of things, the people that love her and prioritize her will still be there. when it's all said and done. She's only in his life for a season and a reason, but it's not permanent. There's no major arcana here. This is something her soul chose to do on its own accord to heal something. Maybe he saved her and loved her unconditionally in a past life when she had a hard time loving herself, and she's returning the favor because she vowed to return the favor. And so she's choosing it. The major arcana come in when she starts making heart over head decisions to reinvent herself, to fly, to trust her impulse and create magic, to take opportunity and choose her strength. When her soul chooses strength, at some point she will choose strength. Her dragon energy will come forward and the tower will come in. And she will realize she's been living in a fishbowl and that she's been confused. And that was the soul contract. That was the soul contract. And that she needs to figure out the ideal versus the reality, and justice has had, okay? Your mother's on a soul mission right now. She's definitely healing some things in the shadow. You were not wrong about that. She's healing some things in the shadow and she needs to be left alone. She's doing what she feels she needs to do because she believes in victory, okay? She believes in victory. She believes in the power of love, and that's what she's doing. As for Brian, drop some truth on his spirit. Give us some insight, please, into Brian and what is going on with him so that we can be clear. He already knows she's going to move away from him. He already knows. High Priestess, Six of Swords. And that he's manifesting it. He knows that he's taken her away from the castle and that she's going to need to return to the castle. And he has anxiety about it. He has anxiety about losing her because he knows he deserves the love that she's giving him, but he's pushing it away. He knows that he's going to be alone and that there's something else for him. He just doesn't see it. He already knows. He's afraid that what he gives her is not enough. Because it's not. He's empty. She's filling him. And he doesn't want her to leave. Because he's afraid if she goes that he won't get it anymore. That he will never have the happy family and the happy, healthy dream. He knows that she's there because she chooses to be. And that one day she's going to choose different. Because he has to let her go. He has to know that he can create something beautiful. Beautiful flowers. Wheel of Fortune is on the top. Five of Wands is on the bottom. He feels extremely lucky to have your mother. But he's internally conflicted about it because she's bringing her love to the table and he's not necessarily bringing his. And he knows it. The sun is under that. She's trying to bring out his light and she's trying to heal it. The star under that. King of Swords, helping him see the higher perspective. King of Cups, letting him know it's okay to love. It's okay to love. Because if you don't love, you end up with a bunch of burdens on your back. Feeling wounded. Feeling like no one loved you. And it's because he's not giving love or communicating love. She's teaching him how to go on the journey. That it's okay to make effort so that he doesn't end up alone and ruined from battle, trapped in his own mind, and he can actually connect with his true divine counterpart and create that nest, that love, that joy, that he can complete the cycle, the control the devil has over him, right, that he was contracted to face. You got to trust their relationship's very temporary. Might be a slow process, but it's something that they agreed to with each other to go through. He's empty and she's filling. And when he is full, to the best of her ability, she will leave. She will leave. And whatever debt she has to him, whatever vow she made, whatever oath she took, that contract will be complete. And they will go on their own, they'll go their own separate ways. Clarify result for me, Spirit, the result between them. How does the relationship ultimately result? Yeah, he knows. Really, we got the Devil on top and the Queen of Pentacles on the bottom. We got the Four of Pentacles here, and the Moon here, and the Nine of Wands here. They know that this relationship they're in is toxic. It might not end well. They both already know that. The High Priestess is here again underneath the Moon. They both know that this is all shadow and that sticking together is shadow. And they both know it's going to end in shadow with their woundings very illuminated. That we have a feminine regaining control, and that fox that was present on the Nine of Swords in his reading. We have the Nine of Wands. The fox is present. He's going to feel really wounded. She's going to be in control of herself, and he's going to feel wounded. It's going to trigger your mom to create her ideal in a realistic way. And it's going to trigger him to his true counterpart. That's when your mom's journey really begins. When she starts defending herself and standing up against the fox. Where she claims her independence and reinvents herself, that dragon's roar again, and moves forward, Cancerian energy, Chariot. And she's going to feel alone and lonely. And she's going to miss him because they're soulmates. The cats again. She's going to want to love him again. You got to understand, there's a good chance that she might go back. And if she does, it's because the healing took place. Because a part of her knows she's meant to love him. But she also knows his woundings are in the way. And he's not going to heal. And he's not going to appreciate the love that she poured into him until she leaves and realizes it's not pouring anymore. Because she was drained and had nothing left to give. And he's going to have to fill her back up. He's going to have to love her back. And respect her and her creation back. You see how the mother, the Queen of Pentacles, is holding the rabbit. They have a long healing process to go through. Really, double Piscean energy, the moon and the high priestess. I'm curious about the Piscean energy in their charts. Gemini and Capricornian energy are very present. They've got to understand the mirror with each other. She deserves to be loved the way she's loving him, and he needs to be able to give love the way she's giving love to him. And that's what they're working on. This period of healing, okay, if this is the result, this period of healing is very temporary. It's meant to shift. It's meant to transform and become something new and become something stronger. Every time it dies between the two of them, it becomes stronger on the rebound. She's got to learn how to let go. Yeah. I do feel like they feel like they're bound to each other. They know it both. They know it hurts. Really, it's a painful cycle they're trying to heal. Their moon signs is the hardest part for them to embrace. And they know it. They have to embrace the light of their moon. The light attributes of their moon. And I do feel like they're going to keep choosing to move forward despite their wounds. Your mom's going to give him multiple opportunities to love her right, as equal as he's going to give her opportunities to love herself right. One more time. They need to be aware that they're both very independent people. And that you can't sit on the eggs for so long that they rot or crack. That they can't focus on what's broken and they have to focus on what's healing. And I think they know that if they don't heal, it's going to continue to be extremely painful. Because the imbalances are going to create a lot of conflict. But it's what they signed up for with each other. You know what I mean? She'll figure it out. She'll figure it out. I'm going to pull an overall guidance card for you on how you can best process that, what you can tune into as a reminder when you start to doubt the process. Like if it does get to the point where she has to permanently leave him so that he can be full and love her the way she was meant to be loved, if that results from death, you know what I mean? Because we've talked about that, then you have to understand that is ultimately the lesson, the contract that she had with him, that he would learn as she would learn what their worth is. If they took it to a level of extremes, right? Because the pain is hard and it keeps getting worse every time they don't heal it, right? The pain continues to become more intense every time they fail to heal it. So if it reaches an ultimate level, right? An ultimate level where one permanently leaves the other's life, the lesson will be learned then. And that was the contract that your mom had with Brian in this life, that they would heal it no matter what, even if it ultimately results in her leaving this world. She agreed. Christ consciousness, the sacrificial lamb, she agreed to fill him until she could literally fill him no more. She felt like she deeply owed him one. The perfection of your life is the guidance card for you. Card number 30, Ascension Magnified. It says, have you ever seen a storm pictured from above? It can appear to be so beautiful and elegant. This is certainly different to the ground view, which can be quite a violent experience. So too, there is great beauty in your life now. However, at this point in the natural process, you may be experiencing it as anxiety-inducing rather than beautiful. You may sense it as internal chaos. You may feel it as something that is waiting to erupt from within, as a restlessness or an anxiety that you cannot quite articulate but sense vaguely nonetheless. Perhaps the chaos is fully fledged and a person or situation in your life is causing all kinds of havoc, upheaval, or change and uncertainty in your world. Whether the chaos seems subtle, strong, internal, or external, this oracle brings the same message for you. All is unfolding according to a perfect higher order. You are currently enduring a cosmic spiritual storm which is having an impact on you. It is clearing things out, ruffling feathers, and preparing you for that lovely, super fresh, uplifting feeling that one experiences after the storm is finally passed. If you cannot believe there is anything happening, even at a subtle level, because you feel stuck, denied, bored, thwarted, or stale, this oracle brings you a message also. No matter what appears to be, in truth, there is only the unfolding, creative genius of the universe. You are not forgotten. You have not been looked over. You have not been denied, found wanting, or rejected as unworthy. The storm that needs to erupt is in your own heart. You do your liberating rain dance. Rage, weep, pray, dance, paint, sing. Express whatever is needed, however is needed to exorcise. Exorcise, EXORCISE. The blocked energy in your heart. Then you will call on the powerful perfection of your life path as it aligns for the next creative turn of the spiral of life. Once again, you will trust and directly experience the flower of life unfolding within you and around you. Exercise, like exorcism. Exercise the blocked energy in your heart. Your gifts. Don't worry about your mom. Aqua, see the bigger picture. Don't worry about your mom. There's nothing not perfect about what's happening to her ever. Think about that. Your mother is acting in according to her divine plan, her divine healing, perfectly. You're witnessing the storm that she's in healing. Don't allow it to disturb you by becoming a part of it. Focus on your own. How it's mirroring for you. That sometimes you need to cast everybody else aside in order to focus on your mission. Sometimes you have to put the idea of everybody else aside and focus on your mission for you. You know, it goes back to being your own best teacher. Being able to go live and listen to yourself back and learn from yourself and be that teacher. Be your own best student. Allowing your gifts to unlock. Talking about how important it is to let others live out their life and to stop trying to control it. To trust that your path is your own, just like everybody else's path is their own, and it's okay because it's all divinely perfect. If you missed the live I did on pro-war and anti-war, pro-peace and anti-peace, or the live I did with Tanya today, you should watch it. You should watch it. I think it'll help a lot. You don't need to worry about your mom, no matter what results. Because the way it's happening is perfect for them and their healing, their soul contract. It's not a mistake. It's not a mistake. It's a reminder that there's certain pieces of you that you need to fill up yourself, that others can't fill you up. It's painful. You need to be able to fill yourself up. To not heal becomes increasingly more painful. Learn from that. If your mother is dealing with confidence issues, as she can't find the strength to leave when she needs to, heal your own confidence issues. What heals in you heals in your entire lineage. You're an extension of your mother, literally, physically, part of her DNA. What heals in you will heal in your mother. It will heal in your children, who are also an extension of her. Heal it in yourself. Heal the confidence in yourself. Do what you need to do. Don't worry about your mom, okay? I hope this helps. I hope this whole message helps. Trust yourself. And trust everybody else's self. That their self is exactly who they're meant to be right now. And they'll go through whatever growth and shifts they need to go through. All the time. Universe doesn't make mistakes. God's source spirit does not make mistakes. Our angels never leave us. Ask Archangel Ariel to please be with your mother. The same way that Archangel Ariel is there for you. Angels don't come and call unless you ask. So if you're calling Archangel Ariel into your being and thanking her for being with you and giving her your presence, thank her for being present for your mom too. That Angel Ariel would intervene on your behalf for your mom. To be the strength for her where you can't. Trust. All right? I love you. I love you. It's going to be okay. No matter what happens. Remember, the universe is good. Spirit is good. And we manifest whatever we manifest because we need it. We need it to learn and we need it to heal. In this lifetime or the next. Trust. Until next time, sister. Until next time. Love you.